Hello everyone, myself Shraddha Mishra, studying in 3rd year B Pharmacy at Shivajirao S. Jondhle College of Pharmacy. Today I am going to explain a very important topic, that is granulation, its types, process and uses under the guidance of Dr. Nitin Mohire, Principal of SSJ Corp, and Mrs. Geeta Mohire Ma'am, our Professor of Industrial Pharmacy 1. So let's begin. Granulation. What basically granulation means? It may be defined as a size enlargement process which converts small particles into physically stronger and larger agglomerates. It is a process of collecting particles together by creating bonds between them. Such bonds are formed by compression or by using binding agent. Need of granulation. What is the need of granulation? It is needed to prevent segregation of consistent of powder mix, or to improve the flow properties of the mix, or to improve the compaction characteristics of the mix. Other reasons such as toxic, slightly hygroscopic or denser. Process of granulation. The process of granulation includes granulation technology on large scale by various techniques. It included 3 techniques such as direct compression, dry granulation, wet granulation, and has been explained in a flow chart in this slide. You all can have a look on this. These techniques have been explained in briefly in previous slides. So let's see. What are the methods and types of granulation? There are 3 methods such as dry granulation, wet granulation, or direct compression. A slight note of processes and dryers used in the techniques have been explained here. Have a look. In the wet granulation, we have used processes such as low shear mixer, high shear mixer, fluid bed granulator, or dryer or spray dryer, or extrusion, spheronization, continuous mixer granulator, that is mechanical, or fluid bed granulator, that is continuous, and dryers used as tray or fluid bed dryer, vacuum or gas stripping, or microwave assist one pot, or fluid bed granulator or dryer, spray dryer, tray or fluid bed dryer, fluid bed that is continuous or batch, or fluid bed granulator that is continuous. In the technique dry granulation, we have used processes such as process, direct compression, slugging, roller compactor, and the dryers such as further processing, blend and process further, mill sludge tablets, or blend or recompress or process further, or compacts milled or blend or process further has been used. Have a look. Let's start with our first method, that is dry granulation. What is dry granulation? By the dry granulation method, the powder mixture is compacted in large pieces and subsequently broken down or sized into granules. For this method, either the active ingredient or the diluent must have cohesive properties. Dry granulation is specially applicable to materials that cannot be prepared by wet granulation because they degrade in moisture or the elevated temperatures required for the drying the granules. What are the methods involved in dry granulation? There are 4 methods which are involved in dry granulation method. These are: first, pressing. In pressing, 2 methods involved, that are mechanical pressing and pneumatic pressing. One of the characteristic examples of mechanical pressing is roll compaction method. The second step is extruding. In this process, the fine powder is scraped through a sieve or a perforated plate. It is an old but simple and easy granulation method which still finds its application in industries. But automation of equipment involved in this process is very difficult. The wide size distribution and broad lake shape of the product granules prevent much improvement in the product flowability. The third step is tumbling. This granulation process is time consuming. It is not applicable in case of spherical and small granules, such as which are less than 1 mm. Fourth step is fluidizing. Formation of agglomerates by fluidization of fine cohesive particle is a difficult process. Have a look on the diagrams of all these four steps. In the last step, that is fluidizing, the gas flow is in upward direction. This is the flow chart of dry granulation, how it is processes. The drug is first is grinded, then it is passed further and blender is used in which adjuvant is added. After blending, it is formed in a pellet. After pellet, that is the pelletization process is done, it is then crushed. After crushing the drug, it is then screened, and after screening, again blending is done. While doing blending, lubricant is added into it. After blending, the compression is done. After compression, a tablet is formed by the dry granulation method. The steps included in the dry granulation is milling of drugs and excipients, mixing of milled powders, compression into large hard tablets to make slug, screening of slugs, mixing with lubricant and disintegrating agent, and tablet compression. This is a flow chart of steps involved in dry granulation. How the drug, filler, lubricant will act on the blending, and after blending is done, the next step is pre-compression. Then there is a process comminution on which glidant, lubricant and disintegrant is acted. After communication, sizing is done, and after sizing, blending is again done. What are the advantages of dry granulation? It is follows. First, it utilizes less equipment and space. Second, it does not require binder solution and heavy mixing equipment. Third, the costly and time-consuming drying step required for wet granulation is also avoided. Fourth, it is suitable for moisture and heat-sensitive materials. Fifth, tablets with improved disintegration are produced as powder particles are not bonded together by a binder. Sixth, solubility of drug is also improved. Disadvantages of dry granulation, it includes: first, it requires a specialized heavy-duty tablet press to form the slug. Second, it does not permit uniform color distribution. Third, it creates more dust than wet granulation, thus increasing the potential contamination. So, our next technique of granulation is wet granulation. What is wet granulation? What does it mean? Wet granulation is the most widely used process of agglomeration in pharmaceutical industry. This process simply involves wet massing of the powder, blend with a granulating liquid, followed by wet sizing and drying. This is the process of wet granulation. How the process of wet granulation works, let's see. The drug is first grinded. After grinding, the next step is blending. While doing blending, adjuvant is added into it. After doing blending, the next step is agglomeration. While doing agglomeration, liquids are added. After agglomeration, the next step is pellets, in which pelletization process is involved. After doing pellet, the next step is dry. After drying, the next step is screening of a drug. After screening of a drug, the next step is blending. While doing blending, lubricant is added. After blending, the next step is compression, where the drugs are compressed. After compression, the tablet is formed. This is the process of wet granulation. The steps involved in the wet granulation are: first, mixing of the drugs and excipients. Second, preparation of the binder solution. Third, mixing of a binder solution with powder mixture to form a wet mass. 4. Coarse screening of wet mass using a suitable sieve, that is sieve number 6 to 12. After that, drying of moist granules is occurred. The sixth step is screening of dry granules through a suitable sieve, that is sieve number 14 to 20. Our seventh step is mixing of the screened granules with disintegrant, glidant and lubricant. And the last step is tablet compression. These are the steps involved in wet granulation. What are the advantages of wet granulation? The agglomerates or granules formed improve the cohesiveness and compressibility of powders. Second, high-dose drugs have a poor flow or compressibility properties can be prepared by wet granulation. Third, the soluble low dosage or potent drugs can attain uniform distribution and content by this process. Fourth, color distribution also occurs evenly in this process. Fifth, this process prevents the segregation or separation of components of a homogeneous powder mix. And the last the most, the dissolution rate of hydrophobic drug is improved by this process. Advantages of wet granulation. It includes: first, it is an expensive process because of the labor, time, equipment, energy and space requirements. Second, loss of material occurs during various stages of the processing. Third, stability may be the major concern for moisture sensitive drugs which degrade in the presence of water, moisture or an aqueous environment. Heat sensitive drugs also include be processed as it involves dry steppings. Multiple processing steps add completely and make validation and control difficult. Sixth, any incompatibility or chemical reaction between the formulation of components will be aggravated by the moisture used during granulation. Our third technique or the third method is direct compression. The direct compression includes the tablets are compressed directly from powder blends of the active ingredient and suitable excipients. No pre-treatment of the powder blends by wet or dry granulation procedures is necessary. Some granular chemicals like potassium chloride possess free-flowing as well as cohesive properties that enable them to be compressed directly in a tablet machine without need of either wet or dry granulation. In the direct compression method, the tablet excipients used must be material with properties of fluidity and compressibility. The direct compression involves direct compression of powder materials into tablets without modifying the physical nature of the materials itself. The direct compression avoids many of the problems associated with wet and dry granulations. This is the flow chart of direct compression, in which the drug is first grinding. After grinding, the drug is then blended, in which adjuvant is added. After blending, the compression is done, and after the compression, a tablet is formed. This is a very short process of direct compression. The steps involved in direct compressions are blending, dry granulation, milling, lubrication, compression and packaging. These are the advantages of direct compression. It involves economy, that is machine, fewer manufacturing steps and pieces of equipment. Second, labor, reduced labor cost, that is less process validation. Third, lower consumption of power. Fifth, both roller compression and slugging require conventional grades of excipients. Fifth, these methods are not generally associated with alterations in drug morphology during processing. Sixth, no heat or solvent are required. Disadvantages. The disadvantages of direct compression are: first, large particles must be used, that is, acceptable flowability and drug density. Second, if the drug powder has low compactability, it is difficult to form into tablets. Third, needs directly compressible filler that is usually expensive, for example, microcrystalline cellulose, avicel, or spray-dried lactose. Further, throughout the PPT, the reference has been taken from Lackman and Lieberman's books, Nirali Prakashan book, in which page number is given, Thakur publication, following page numbers are given.
I thank Shivajirao, S. Jondhle College of Pharmacy, Asangaon, for giving me such an opportunity to explain a webinar on this platform. Thank you.